Chapter 59. Pathom, chrdi. Lord Foch, were there any other important events along the way? I asked. Of course. The journey of the yellow-robed monks with the city. Ruler as a follower must not have been ordinary, especially in the case of the Buddha and fire. Ahsoka traveling to create symbols so that Buddhism could establish itself in the Tailu, Taiye, Lana, and Lanshang ethnic regions in the future. Everywhere the Buddha went to bury his hair relics in the ground, it later became the location of a temple that enshrined the Buddha's relics. During the first half of the journey, Fire Ahsoka built over 100 stone pillars, and almost all of them were in distant lands, starting from the Pankanigara kingdom that I told you about, going up to Chang Kam Noea, Chang Kam Tai, Chang Muan, Chang Rai, Chang Sayan, the Lanshang kingdom, all the way to Xishuangbanna, and turning west or to the north of present-day Myanmar, Mandalay, Napido, Maniwa, Much, Taungu, Bakan, Taungi, turning back to Kentang, Jinghong Wiangheng, Mai Hong Son, Jiangdao, Chiang Mai, which was not yet a city at that time, Lamphun, Lampang, Ta, Kamphaing Phat, Nakhon Sawan, Utaitani, Chai, Nat, Sing, Buri, Angthong, Suphanburi, Kamphaing Saen, until they reached a major halfway point at Kazin, which was Phaya Ahsoka's own city. Located in the border area between Kanchanaburi and Nakhon Pathom provinces today, Lord Foch explained. Wow, the Buddha traveled extensively, and so did Akita's caravan. But wait, is Kusinarina the same as Kusinara where the Buddha passed away? I asked. Yes. Then why is it only in Nakhon Pathom province? I commented and questioned. I already told you that the entire history of Buddhism took place in your country and neighboring countries. Lord Foch replied. Wow. Can I learn about the story of the Buddha's passing first? And was Akita involved in that event? I asked. She wasn't there because at that time she had chosen to be stationed in a city in the Lana region, near Harufanch. That city is currently known as Wiang Tharkan, but at that time it was called Changka or Changseo, located in Sanpa's Tong district, Chiang Mai province. But after she learned of the Buddha's passing, she rushed to Kos. However, she arrived during the distribution of the Buddha's relics to various kingdoms. She was involved in the construction of the first chrdi to enshrine the Buddha's relics. Along with a Brahmin, he replied. The first chrdi. Where is it? I asked. It is the first chrdi to officially enshrine the Buddha's relics. Therefore, that time is considered the beginning of the Buddhist era. That chrdi is Pathom, chrdi. He replied, Really? Is that the origin of Pathom chrdi? Can you tell me the details of the story? I asked. Yes, in the final stage of his life, the Buddha intended to pass away in Kusinarayana because it was the city of Fire Ahsoka, who was like an old Dharma friend who had shared hardships and joys, traveling to lay the foundation of the Buddha's religion in various lands throughout the region for over 20 years. And the Buddha also knew in advance that there would be a problem with the possession of the relics if he passed away in another city. Phaya Ahsoka might receive only a small share of the relics, or perhaps none at all, because Phaya Ahsoka's city at that time was only a small city on the border. The Buddha wanted Phaya Ahsoka to possess all the relics so that they could be enshrined at the various points where they had previously prayed together. At that time, The Buddha had already sent disciples to be stationed and spread Buddhism at the various points that had been prepared in advance. One afternoon in mid-May, about 1 year before the Buddhist era, after the Buddha and over 20 of his enlightened followers, with Ananda as his personal secretary, had traveled from a small city called Pava. The current location of this city is Kamphaeng Sayan. He arrived at Orang forest just 11 kilometers before entering the city of Kozhino. Due to exhaustion from the journey and illness from consuming poisoned food that a villager in Pava had offered at his house that morning, the Buddha ordered a rest because his symptoms worsened, making it impossible to travel further. That place had a large stone platform with a flat and slightly sloping surface, suitable for use as a resting place. So, the Buddha told his followers to spread a cloth on that stone, and he lay down. And that night, the Buddha peacefully passed away around midnight. Today, we know that place as Prathon Dongrang, Prasain Dongrang. I exclaimed in surprise because I had heard the name of this place since I was a child, but I never knew its significance. Lord, this is one of the important holy sites for Buddhists. I think this must be a story that will be greatly criticized if it is revealed, because it is different from the knowledge and beliefs of general Buddhists. I commented, I don't care what anyone says or what their reaction to this story is because it doesn't concern me. I'm just doing my job of telling the truth that you need to know, Lord Foch said. You're not forcing me to reveal these things, are you? I said. It's your right. Whether you speak or not is your business. But I know for sure that this is your mission, he said with a hidden meaning. Do you know that your words are making me feel afraid? I expressed my feelings. I know that you and your true self will work together to communicate this story intelligently, because he came specifically to talk about this. Lord Foch said. Who do you mean? I'm starting to get confused, I asked. I mean your true self, your spirit, he replied. Never mind. You don't have to explain. What I'm interested in is whether there will be any more surprising stories after this. Can you please continue? I suggested.